I look at CNBC 10, 15, 20 times a day. I quote from CNBC at least twice a day once on my morning show, once on my evening show. As we look at the numbers, because they do a good job on the numbers. They, produce good data that is easy to see and easy to report on. Occasionally, I'll actually use one of their articles. More commonly, I'll refer to some of the videos they've done, some of the conversations they've had with CEOs or other public figures that are, considered to be pundits or experts in their field. So I'm not saying that I have a big difficulty with CMB, generally speaking. However, you are going to have to take it on the chin when you're completely wrong, and they just aren't going to do it, are they? So this morning, of course, we had Elon Musk slammed by CNBC as potentially playing favorites among his companies by pushing off chips from NVIDIA to X that were originally going to come to Tesla, and then switching that up to where the Tesla folks would get theirs later by a couple of months. I reported on it immediately and said it was hogwash, said it was FUD, said it was wrong, said it was incorrect. And then shortly after that, Elon came out and said, yeah, look, the facility wasn't even ready to accept the chips yet. We would have just stuck them in a warehouse. The facility will be ready in June or July, and then we'll start building those racks. And it's going to take months to, of course, assemble all of that, put it together, and get it started. But we can't start until we've got the facility up. And he came out with that on X. I don't know. I want to say it was a couple of hours ago. Yeah, a couple of hours ago. So you'd think if you go over to CNBC right now, you would see that the article was, no longer on top of the page. Oh, no, it's still their number one story. It is still the top story on the page. And so then you'd think, okay, well, then when you open up the story, right away at the top, it would say, this story has been updated, Elon Musk said. Well, no, that's not what happens at all. Go ahead, you can go check it out yourself, read the entire story. Nothing has been changed until the very last paragraph, where Elon's statement is down at the bottom without really any comment from CNBC, like, oh, I wish we'd known this, or, this obviously makes a lot of sense. No, you wouldn't. Why would you bother to bring it in, put it in a warehouse if your other company could use it faster? And is more prepared to actually take delivery and start putting it into use. None of that, just a comment at a quote at the bottom of the story. I mean, we're talking about a long story here, hundreds and hundreds of words, not a couple of paragraphs where the average person who reads the headline, right? Most people just read the headline. Oh, some people might read the sub-headline if there's a lot of interest. But most people just read the headline and or the subheadline. So those people today are still going away with the impression that Elon Musk screwed Tesla. That's what the impression is. That's what CNBC apparently wants to have happen, or they just want the clickbait. They want you to open up that article to find out how Elon screwed Tesla. So then you go in there, and if you are like most people, you don't read the whole story. You read a paragraph, and yeah, okay, that's kind of interesting. Let me read another paragraph. And then at some point, you're like, oh, well, this is boring, and you leave way before you ever get to the end of the story, which is what we talked about in my second article that came out this morning, my second YouTube video this morning, where I talked about the fact that Elon had decried the first story, and then talked about the fact that even if they had a PR department, that's still where the story would have and how the story would have ended up. They still would have run the story. And now I've got proof. The proof is they haven't taken it down. The story is completely wrong, completely backwards, does not comport with the truth. It is fraudulent, and Elon should probably sue because it's a fraudulent story at this point, now that they know the facts. I would give them some credit if they changed the headline and said, Elon Musk says it isn't so, or something in the headline. But right now, the average citizen is going away from that report going, oh, Elon screwed Tesla. So let me know what you think in the comments. In the meantime, you might want to join Patreon. Go on down below, click on the link, and go over there. We've had, as I mentioned, quite a few people joining Patreon this week. Let me give them a special shout out here on this little short show. I can go find that right away here. Just a second. It was, I think, Christopher E. Christopher E. joined yesterday. And I don't know, I haven't looked recently to see if anybody has joined this morning yet. But Christopher E., thank you so much for joining Patreon. We're averaging about one a day now. So who's gonna be today? Love to have you on board. Remember, if you go in at the $10 level, you can get 2 ebooks. Okay, ebooks are worth like $17 a piece. So $35 worth of ebooks. You can get both of those books about Elon Musk. Or you can get one Cybertruck bottle opener, which is worth $25. Okay, so those are a couple of choices if you join at the $10 level. If you join at the $5 level, you get 1 ebook, or you can join at the $3 level and just be a good guy or gal. Okay, thanks so much. It's been great talking to you as always.